15 minutes left on that bad boy.
We're good.
I don't know what y'all been biggest liars. I'll be like 50 minutes dead.
Yeah. Okay, we've got women's basketball. Coach Taylor Wagner, Brooklyn Palmer, and Riley Hayes coming off a couple of pretty good weeks on the road. Coach, going 4-0 on the road in the RMAC is not an easy feat, and it doesn't happen very often. So what did you particularly like that you saw from this team last 2 weeks?
I liked our grit. I thought the things that we kind of emphasized all week in practice, I thought they went out and did. Defensively, we stepped up. Thought we played better defense in all 4 games. And so that was kind of, I think, the difference in all those ball games.
So coming up, you've got 2 more tough ones. I mean, Metro has been kind of up and down. They'll have some games when they're really good, and then they have some games where they struggle a little bit. And Regis is always a tough matchup, but being back home has got to make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I think just for the girls, getting in a routine and being able to go to class and just sleeping in their own bed, it's going to help us for sure. But with Metro and Regis coming in, they're both well coached. They'll be prepared. They'll be ready to play us. And so the games, I think, they get harder with each and every one.
And girls, that you've never been on those 2 road trips, and it's not easy road trips back to back. But Brooklyn, especially for you, last week, you went up against 2 of the top 3 post players in the conference, and 2 of the best in the nation. And I think more than held your own. What was the key, especially last weekend for you?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just putting what we do in practice into the game. I mean, I'm going against Olivia in a lot of practice. And so, I mean, that in itself is really, really good preparation for me. Going up against those posts that we played last week, they're really good. And so I think just going against Olivia in practice helps me just have confidence to know that, I can guard them and I can hold my own. And then just the team constantly being there to encourage me and knowing that they're going to get their points, they're going to get their rebounds, but just doing the best I can to do the little things and try and limit their possessions.
Yeah, the last 2 minutes of that Pueblo game, you defend the one layup from Alicia, and then you force her into the turnover. I think Olivia scores on the other end out of that, and it kind of put the game out of reach. And it's one of those things where coming down to crunch time, who's getting the ball.
Yeah,
on especially those 2 teams. So it was like kind of a bring it situation.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the score and knowing the time, and we knew they were going right into her Alicia. We knew that she was going to be the one that was going to try and get those buckets to win the game. So just telling myself, okay, 2 stops on defense, and then getting a good offensive possession, but just trying to give it everything I had for those 2 possessions, guarding really good players. But yeah.
And Riley, the way you're shooting it right now, I mean, every shooter is going to go dips and valleys, but you've been able to not really shoot your way out of slumps because you really haven't, knock on wood, hit one. But just the confidence you have right now, inside and outside, attacking and shooting the 3.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is when my 3s aren't falling is even that mid-range or getting to the free throw line. That's helped me a lot just to balance out my game and then also keep me level-headed. When I'm not hitting those shots, I can hit something else.
Coach, your offense, at least the starting 5, and when Macy comes in, you found some balance right now. I mean, everybody's 15, 16, 18 points a game. What's the next step for this team?
Well, we've got to continue to do what we're doing. But, we were talking about it today and yesterday in practice. Someone's got to step up, and there's going to be a game where, someone coming off the bench has got to have a big game. And so everyone's got to be locked in. It just can't be 1, 2, 3 players every single game. Teams are going to really strategize and try and take away, our strengths. And so everyone's got to be ready to put the ball in the hole.
Coach, I'm just kind of curious, back-to-back long road trips, not saying one is any easier than the other, but one, you're probably a little more sore getting off the bus because you had to log some serious smiles.
Yeah.
Was it kind of one of those things going in where you guys were like, in a weird way, back-to-back road trips, the hard part is the first part. Let's get that out of the way and then focus on the trip over to the Front Range?
Yeah, I mean, they're all tough games, and that we just kind of take it. I know it's kind of cliche, but we take it one game at a time, and each and every team is different and how they're going to play us. And so it's just more of a mindset, and the girls having mental toughness and going out and executing our game plan each and every time.
And then I'm just curious for the shooting aspect of the game. Does it help? How does having players like Brooke and Olivia down low just open everything up for you guys?
Yeah, I think having the inside out game is really important. You know, if they're going to go and double Liv or Brooklyn, like they have the kickouts. And if they don't, our post one-on-one are almost impossible to stop. So having that balance of inside out attack is just really hard to guard.
And then, kind of good news, bad news. You guys are finally back home, but it's two, tough teams in a row. What do you expect to see out of Metro and Regis?
Well, Metro, I mean, Tanya is a great coach. She gets them to play hard against us. They're usually tough and physical, and that's what we expect. And, that Regis has always been a good team. They have great players. And, everyone's kind of fighting for their spots. And they're in the mix of it, so we expect their best.
Now, for all of you guys, early in the season, drop that game to UCCS here in Brownson, then to go to their place and take them down. What did that mean for you guys, seeing how you've grown this year?
You want to answer?
Oh, sure. I mean, I think that was a tough loss, and I think that was a good wake-up call for us. And so knowing that every single game is important, especially as we get closer to the end of conference and towards the tournament, we want to be put in a good place. And so going back and watching that, I think it was good for us to realize where the improvement was that we could make. And so I think that really helped us focus in practice, knowing that we did lose to them earlier and that we couldn't let it happen again. And so I think it gave us more focus and more just of a chip on our shoulder going into this game when we played them again.
Well, and then also that win against Black Hills State too, where you guys took care of them pretty handedly. One, what does it mean for you guys to be able to go and take the first place in the conference like that? And two, how much did you kind of chuckle about how much you trained these guys on free throws when you looked at the box score when you got back to the locker room?
Well, we shoot a lot of free throws, so and they work on their own. That's the good thing with our team is they put a lot of preparation and they're willing to put in the extra work. So every game is different, but we kind of approach it the same way, and we know what our strengths are. We know what our weaknesses are, and when we go into them, we've just got to have a good game plan. And I'm always kind of what I always think about is if we go in and we work a little bit harder than the other team, sometimes we get a little bit luckier, and that's been the case. I feel like we've done a great job the last couple weeks.
Still 4 weeks to go, and last year's standings evident with 4 teams tying for the lead with 4 losses. Now you have a 2-game lead. How nice is it to have that just a little bit of a cushion going into the
well,
final
yeah, it's close. So every game's big, and it's great we have a 2-game lead, but we've got to make sure we do our best and even get a little bit tougher and be better prepared. It's just going to be razor thin when it comes down to it. And so we've just got to take care, of our home court this week and make sure we go out and play well.
Question of the week, 2-parter. Who are we cheering for in the Super Bowl on Sunday? And then a favorite Super Bowl memory in our lives.
The Chiefs. Favorite Super Bowl memory is just watching the game with my family, making food.
I gotta say the Chiefs. I'm also from Missouri, so I feel like I had to say Chiefs. And I don't know. I think I love sports, so watching the game is always fun.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs too. I want the Chiefs. And favorite Super Bowl memory, just watching the Cowboys win it back in the day.
That is back in the day.
That was a long time ago, but I'm still hanging on to them.
Thanks. Good luck this week.
Thank you.